In this video, I'm going to hopefully not have too much background noise or obtrusive noise as I try to figure out the interactions with the complex WorldGorger Dragon that is so famous or infamous for just causing your entire board state to be removed, along with not even having WorldGorger Dragon with you. So, first of all, WorldGorger Dragon is already costing you 3 of anything else and 3 red as something that'd be really daunting, but anyone who knows this combination, maybe I shouldn't even be explaining this, that's completely irrelevant. What matters here is that when WorldGorger Dragon enters the battlefield, exile all other permanents you control. That includes your lands. When WorldGorger Dragon leaves the battlefield, return the exiled cards to the battlefield under their owner's control. So, there's a couple different things going on here, and yes, the fact that it's a flying creature also does matter, and it's a nightmare dragon, which are also things that matter but not so much, and its power is 7, and its toughness is 7, which does also kind of matter, but doesn't really. The main thing that matters is that both of its effects are 2 different sentences. So you want to have nothing go wrong. And there's a card actually. Now I'm going to try and put all the different puzzle pieces of the WorldGorger Dragon combo together at towards the end. And right now, because of my limited ability to put this video together, I am going to only really be able to present one card at a time. So I'm going to try and show you each different card that is this combo. And I know it's already been told by many other people, but this is in case no one else, this is in case someone watching this video doesn't know about it. So this is Animate Dead. It's the most well-known combo card with WorldGorger Dragon, and the important part about it is the fact that you can enchant a creature that's in a graveyard. The other text about it also does matter. You can read it. It's on the screen. You can pause the video. I'm going to move on to the next card. These next 2 cards are lesser known, but are also important combo pieces that also work just the same. This is Dance of the Dead, and Dance of the Dead basically does the same functionality we want. Enchant a creature in a graveyard, and again, you can pause the video and read it, and you'll see similarities with what this enchantment in Animate Dead does. And here I have Necromancy, and Necromancy works a bit differently from Dance of the Dead and Animate Dead, because Animate Dead actually does the thing we want, and it's always been getting reprinted. Dance of the Dead needs a reprint. Necromancy, oh my god, This thing needs to be reprinted. This thing, you can cast this aura enchantment at instant speed. For some interactions, that's important. It was actually really nice with a certain demon creature, but more on that with a different card. But that's not important. The important part is that all three of these cards, when you cast it and it enters the battlefield, you enchant a creature that is in your graveyard and bring it back onto the battlefield. So the way this combo works in its simplest form is that you're able to get WorldGorger Dragon into your graveyard and then use one of these three aura enchantments to enchant WorldGorger Dragon, which then brings WorldGorger Dragon back to the battlefield. And then, when that happens, all your permanents get exiled, and then because of how these three enchantments are worded, because the enchantment is no longer enchanted onto the creature because it's been exiled by WorldGorger Dragon, you have to destroy the creature that it was enchanting, which is WorldGorger Dragon. So then WorldGorger Dragon actually gets destroyed, goes back to your graveyard, and then this causes all your permanents, including the Animate Dead or the Dance of the Dead or Necromancy, to come back onto the battlefield, asking you to enchant something, enchant a creature that is in a graveyard. Now, from what I'm understanding as well, is that you need to have a target other than WorldGorger Dragon, otherwise you could get disqualified from the game for not being able to end the combo unless you had something like Comet Storm. And while you read Comet Storm, I have it on screen for you. I'm going to also explain that in this combo, it is wholly reliant on WorldGorger Dragon being able to do what he does, and we're going to go over the interactions that can disrupt this combo and how it's so easy to disrupt, and figure out what is supposed to happen according to logic and what actually happens according to official rules or something. So, this is Comet Storm, and as you've hopefully read, it's an instant. That is the most important part about it, where now you have WorldGorger Dragon coming in and out of play. Theoretically, you can prove, now that you have all this mana and you have to pick a number, so say you've got 1,000,000,000 mana of red and black, because you need to have red and black mana for this combo. Well, I guess theoretically you just need black, but I mean, you know what I mean. Comet Stormer needs red. So you then have the mana. You, in response to one of your triggers happening, you cast Comet Storm, multi-kicked, and you proceed to just do, all this damage to everyone else, causing win condition. What I like to do with this combo is already have this amazing land called Sun-Scorched Desert. And as you can read on it, well, I'll read it for you. When Sun-Scorched Desert enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to target player. So, not only do you have a land, like, this is your land drop. This could have been your land drop from turn 1, you know what I mean? So now you have a win condition where now you can prove that you just won the game without needing to worry about enchanting another creature because you have Sunscorched Desert in play. That's like, oh, by the way, I win because every time Sunscorched Desert enters the battlefield, I have it do 1 damage to your face. Now we're going to get into how this combo is disrupted. The easiest way that this combo gets disrupted is through what is known as a stifle effect, but I'm going to go over the more distributed, easier to acquire, and arguably most impossible stifle effect to interact with. If someone uses this as a stifle to stifle something, I don't know if another stifle can stifle this effect. I think it can, but you cannot counter this otherwise. So, yeah, when you cycle Nimble Obstructionist, counter target activated or triggered ability you don't control. So what this causes is then your WorldGorger Dragon enters the battlefield. The Animate Dead says, hey, the creature is not enchanted with me, so you have to destroy it because that's what you targeted for me to enchant. And then because now WorldGorger Dragon has to be destroyed, its other sentence was stifled, so now when it leaves the battlefield, all your permanents that were exiled by WorldGorger Dragon now stay in exile because that entire sentence was removed from the effect. Now we're going to go over the theoreticals of the other forms of removal with WorldGorger Dragon, where stifling the sentences out is the easiest way to disrupt this combo and ultimately set you back so hard that you can't even really come back into the game. You've got to play your land for turn. Everybody else has a board state, and now you have your 1 land. It's really impossible to recover from WorldGorger's stifled, and typically people will just scoop. Okay, so for the interesting choice of removal, because you may never actually see this card anywhere for removing something. This is Plummet, and Plummet allows you to destroy target creature with flying. All we really care about here is just destroy target creature. So I think the official rules will support what I'm about to say. If you targeted WorldGorger Dragon with a destroy spell, like an opponent cast Plummet targeting WorldGorger Dragon, keep in mind that at this point in the combo, WorldGorger Dragon has exiled all your permanents, and when it leaves the battlefield, because it has to be destroyed by the enchantment already, the destroy spell that they're targeting WorldGorger Dragon with is actually just doing the same thing that would have already happened. So you get all your permanents back into play, with WorldGorger Dragon still being available to you in the graveyard. And then you get to continue your combo, because the destroyed target creature really didn't do anything to disrupt this combo. So this is Forced Landing, and I chose to show you this card as one of the disruptive interactions, but really this can be effectively replaced with anything that is exile target creature. Not destroy, exile. So WorldGorger Dragon would still leave the battlefield, and that would bring all the other permanents back into the battlefield. It's still leaving, even if it's getting exiled, and even if it's getting put on the bottom of its owner's library. So, disenchant is possibly the most interesting interaction here of all the interactions that can occur with the WorldGorger Dragon combo. Because now the enchantment itself is being targeted to be destroyed. Keep in mind that because of the stack, the last spell that was cast is the first spell to be resolved. So logically, disenchant would destroy the enchantment, which then no longer brings the WorldGorger Dragon from the graveyard to the battlefield. Again, I am not a judge, but if I'm remembering correctly, the official usage of this interaction is that while there's multiple sentences to the enchantment, you still get the initial sentence of it, which doesn't make any sense to me. So that would bring WorldGorger Dragon to your battlefield, and then since the enchantment was destroyed, even though at this point it would be exiled, it's such a weird interaction, if that's a thing, and you can tell I haven't played in a while, but just I hope someone in the comment section was so kind to clarify this information. Now, this is going to be kind of my closing thoughts on the interactions that I discussed. And again, I'm sorry about how poor quality this entire video is, but apparently no one decided to do an in-depth look at the interactions of WorldGorger Dragon, and stifling is basically the best way to get rid of WorldGorger Dragon. So why am I showing you Blood Crypt, the land? Okay, so as Blood Crypt comes into play, you may pay 2 life. If you don't, Blood Crypt comes into play tapped instead. I feel pretty sad about the guy who runs all special tap lands where they have a special condition and or just come into play tapped. Like, if you don't have Sunscorched Desert and WorldGorger Dragon in the same deck, you do not want this being your supposed source of mana, because then it's like, okay, what's your life total? And you get to minus 2 life every time, for every instance you had it come into play untapped to have that mana. So, yeah. This is Anjay Falconwrath, hopefully the legendary creature that you are actually running as your commander for your deck. Because remember, if WorldGorger Dragon gets stifled, then you may as well just scoop, because regardless if you decided to have Anjay instead of being exiled goes to your command zone, then it's like you can't come back into the game anyway. Not unless you've got a handful of like nonsense that only costs 1 mana or something. But Anjay Falconwrath with WorldGorger Dragon is an amazing match. So every time WorldGorger Dragon would leave the battlefield, all your stuff would come into play, and just like how I was implying with the Blood Crypt, Anjay Falconwrath would come into play untapped. That means, of course, now you can, in response to your enchantment targeting WorldGorger Dragon, tap Anjay Falconwrath and be able to discard a card and draw a card. So now, hopefully, in Commander, this is your commander. Every instance of WorldGorger Dragon coming into play and leaving the battlefield, you're able to now filter a card out of your hand. So you don't have to worry about losing the game to a combo you can't interact or stop, because you could just put a creature into the graveyard to stop it, or you could literally just keep filtering your hand, where at this point you've proven you have mana, because if you have one basic land, hopefully red, a mountain, then you're good, because each instance of WorldGorger Dragon leaving the battlefield, you can, in response, tap just as well as you could do any other instant speed thing, and have a billion mana. So you use Anjay Falconwrath in each of these WorldGorger Dragon leaving the battlefield and becoming the target of the enchantment. Tap, discard a card and draw a card. Filter your hand until you get your win condition. And that's why Anjay is amazing as a pre-con as well. So hopefully this helps you to really see how WorldGorger combo works. And again, I'm sorry about how bad quality my video is, and I'm not looking to make this be the be-all end-all tutorial. This is meant to be a kind of test video. Thank you for tolerating this video to this point at least. So hopefully y'all will be kind and at least just clarify in the comment section. Don't hold your breath, but I would like to do a second video where it's more of an actual tutorial on the WorldGorger combo situation, or this video will be on the internet forever and be a rotten tomato that has a really good portion that's safe to eat, but otherwise just you don't want it. So thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your kind comment that hopefully you were so nice to leave with kind clarification. Have a good one.